Yes, thank you so much for leading us very beautifully into communion. We kind of just want to expand on that message through what we're doing. Like, we really have this heart to extend communion to every community that we go into, whether it's in PNG or Townsville or anywhere in Australia. Like, we have this heart to bring people into relationship with God, into communion with Him, and to see His love and His grace and His mercy. And so that's really our heart. We're going to take you through a lot of different things that go on over the past few years that we've been involved in, and a big picture of what YWAM Townsville is. But we hope that you catch that heart, that we have a desire to bring people to the love of God.
Yeah, just want to say thanks once again for opening up this little slot for us to come and talk about our heart behind what we're doing, what we're involved with, and all the fun things that are happening up there. I know you guys have got a strong heart for missions. I remember coming back after my first trip to PNG and having a burger with Tonks just down the street there, wanting to hear all about what's going on and the reason behind it all. That's it. Thank you.
Yes. And I just want to address, before we get any further, we actually didn't coordinate our outfits today. I know you're all noticing how we were so matchy, but we didn't coordinate it. It just happened by the Spirit. So we'd like to talk about our calling into missions. I would like to share a Bible verse with you that has really encouraged me. It kind of just lit a spark of desire, and through this verse, God has really been revealing a lot about what missions looks like just in general, but also in my life. So I want to share from Romans 10:12-15. For there is no difference between Jew and Gentile. The same Lord is Lord of all and richly blesses all who call on him. For everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. How then can they call on the one they have not believed in? And how can they believe in the one in whom they have not heard? And how can they hear without someone preaching to them? And how can anyone preach unless they are sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. And so I just love that verse because it doesn't say you have to go to a different country to preach the word of the Lord. You don't have to live through these tough situations in life and be, quote unquote, a missionary to spread the love of God. But we all do it. We all do it every day, whether we talk to our neighbor or the person in the grocery store passing, or if we go into PNG and teach in schools, whatever it is, we can all spread the love of God. And so I love that Bible verse, and God has really been revealing a lot through it, that no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, we are called to bring people to that love. And so that was a huge motivation and calling on my life to come to Townsville and to continue in the missions, the full-time missions that we do.
It's okay. Yeah. So, Zandreya came from America, wanting to serve, and she's here full time, which is great. Myself, I wasn't aimed at that specifically during my schooling. During high school, didn't know what was going on, and then somehow stumbled into university, and it was a real turning point at university when I was scrolling on my phone, trying to stay awake during a lecture, and realised there's more to life than this, and I can be serving, getting my hands dirty, getting involved in real change, and making the kingdom grow rather than taking that long process. Nothing wrong with university, it just wasn't for me, and that's when I went to serve in YWAM, and here we are. And there's a picture of us. We got married last year, August, which is the nice time to get married in Townsville in winter. It was a nice beach wedding. Unfortunately, because of closures and borders and that, neither of our parents could make it. That's why I've just got the two groomsmen there, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a good time. So that is a bit about us. And now we'll talk a little bit about what YWAM International is.
Yeah. So YWAM stands for Youth with a Mission. It's an international, interdenominational, non-for-profit organisation. It's in over 260 countries around the world, over 1,000 locations around the world as well. It was founded by a man named Lauren Cunningham back in 1960 who really had a vision for young people to be trained and sent on missions and minister to people in local communities, internationally, all over the place. Everyone serving in YWAM is self-funded. They are full-time volunteers. You guys may know them as missionaries, but working with external businesses and governments, the term full-time volunteer just resonates a lot better. Describes our financial position because we rely on support from friends, family, churches, and so on.
Yeah, we start to talk to a lot of people about YWAM and what we're doing, whether it's like businesses up in Townsville or whatever, and they say, "You're not paid for what you do? Why do you do it?" And it just is so funny to see the shock on their face, but also to be able to share, like, well, we do it because we love it. We do it because we want to see change in the world. And so it's quite powerful to tell someone that you're not paid for what you do, and they're just like, "What? What are you doing?" But that is a bit about YWAM International. Every YWAM base is quite independently run. So we are located at YWAM Medical Ships in Townsville. And so our goal, each YWAM base has kind of a different focus and a different mission. Our mission is really to reach isolated communities. We really had a word from God of like isolation, like reach those in isolation. And so we've started for about 26 years now. YWAM Medical Ships has been operating in Australia as well as in Papua New Guinea. And as Papua New Guinea is our closest border country, we really felt the call to go there and disciple that nation. And one of the ways that we get involved in Papua New Guinea is through our medical ship. So we do a lot through the medical ship. We have dental clinics on board. We have medication. We have immunizations that we deliver to the children as they're being born. We are a driving force behind getting them all immunized so that they can be healthier. We've seen a lot of change over the past years of being involved in PNG. I was actually able to go on the ship. I did our healthcare school that we run in Townsville, and then our outreach portion of that school is in Papua New Guinea. So I was able to go on board the ship and deliver healthcare. So we partner with clinics that are already there. We do just health education training. A lot of times we see pregnant women or women who have just given birth who don't really know how to take care of their children. They don't know what is healthy for themselves as well as the babies. So that was probably my favorite part of being in PNG delivering healthcare, was just to be able to educate them and train them and show them how to do it the healthy way, how to take care of their children. And they're so grateful and just beautiful people. We love PNG, absolutely. Yes, we'll go on to the next slide.
Yep. So in a lot of cases, this ship will be run by volunteers. Well, it's always run by volunteers. But a lot of those will come from international locations. Most of the time straight to the ship. There's a lot of people that go directly to there to give short-term volunteer time. But also we do land-based outreaches. In most cases, this is done by people coming to Townsville, receiving training in certain medical professions to a degree, and training on evangelism and community development. From there, launching into Papua New Guinea, either through the ship or, in some cases, like mine, just straight to land. This photo was taken in the Warrior Valley. That's Zandreya there in the black shirt. I've been there twice before. This is a good example of, a homegrown, community-run base, which was a dream for a number of years. And from that transition, from the first year I was there, the second year it was open and run by locals, discipling to locals in the community, serving themselves, which is what we really want to do as YWAM, not so much give medical things, but teach them to take care of themselves. We have a number of programs, one called CAP, Community
Action and Participation.
Active and
It's a
Participation.
mouthful. Whew.
I always say activation, participation, which is, about locals taking the initiative to take care of themselves and so on and so forth, and bring about real change in their communities.
Yeah. Cool. So another thing that we get involved in is not just in Papua New Guinea, but also locally. So this is actually on our campus. It's in our chapel area, and we are running a youth seminar here. So we go into schools. Schools will come onto our facility, but we love working with high school kids. They have such, just this desire to find truth and to find purpose and what they want to do in their lives, and they're really going through kind of this season of like tension and struggle and like, okay, what am I going to step into? What am I going to be? Who am I going to be? And so being able to come in during this pivotal time in their life and just become friends with them, just chat with them and give them a biblical perspective on what purpose is and what it means to have a passion and how to just live well. And so in some schools, we're able to use the name of God, and we're able to pray for them, and we're able to bring that. But in some of the schools, they just want an encouraging message. So whatever it is, to whatever capacity we're able, we are bringing them the love of God, even if they might not recognize it as that, but they do recognize that something is different, and they see that little spark, and they want to know more. And so getting to know these high school students has been amazing, and it's something that we love to do locally within Townsville.
Yeah. Yep, and the other thing which is recent in the past few years is the youth precinct, we call it, which is just a couple 100 metres down the road from the current base. Called the youth precinct because we really have a desire to get back into the youth of Townsville, to be engaged in that sector. Previously, YWAM Townsville was engaged in a program called Youth Street, ran for a number of years, and then when the shift became quite a handful, a lot of attention got shifted to that. Now we're transitioning back into Youth of Townsville. This is pretty much two buildings. There's a large warehouse which is being transformed into a community assembly / function area. Obviously designed also at the seminars, which will house that perfectly. And the other building is a housing which currently holds a lot of staff, I should say full-time volunteers. Also has housed students for short-term missions. And of course, the big green area at the front has plans for a high ropes course, which will tie into the school seminars and a good message and whatnot. I have spent a lot of time at this building myself. I painted that roof. That was my first job when I came back from my short-term trip. A lot of painting. Yeah, I put a lot of man hours into this particular
See that
facility.
roof? You see how beautiful that roof is? It's all Daniel.
Yeah, so I do like this place a lot, and I can see there's a lot that can happen at this place. So chipping away at it, and eventually we'll see students coming and lives transformed.
Yeah. Who's been on a high ropes course? Anyone? They're pretty thrilling, okay? That is one way to teach youth how to trust and have faith, let me tell you. So we'll see where that goes. So moving on to another one aspect of YWAM medical ships is live FM. So most of you probably would not have heard the radio station, 99.9 Live FM, but locally, it is an amazing radio station that we actually own and operate, and Daniel's uncle is actually the station manager. And it's just an amazing opportunity to reach out to the whole community and give them empowering, life-giving messages. We have so many testimonies of people calling in and just saying, like, thank you for the words that you're giving. Thank you for the encouraging songs that you're playing. Like, I was going through such a tough time, but your radio station was really a support and gave me, just that support to keep pushing through tough seasons. Families call and just thank us for having a radio station that's safe for the whole family to listen to and encouraging, uplifting. And so, yeah, we are seeing a lot of good things come through this radio station and being able to connect with the whole community.
Mhm. Yes, and of course we have the main campus, which is located on the corner of, well, it's in the CBD. Yeah, there it is. That's main campus. It's pretty much a city block, which we maintain and manage in-house ourselves. There's a large office building, which is the oldest one in the front there. We have our own classrooms, several classrooms, a large dormitory building, which houses students and short-term volunteers. And there's also 2 larger buildings, which house all our full-time staff, well, almost all. And yeah, a large courtyard, as you can see with the palm trees popping up there, a large garden. It's all managed in-house, maintained in-house by volunteers. I myself spend most of my time on that maintenance team. I also manage a fleet of vehicles. We've got over 10 company vehicles, transporting
Lots of people
students,
to move around.
guests, and all sorts of things. Yeah, I'm on the maintenance department, maintaining over 30 apartments and grounds, and also developing classrooms, developing office spaces. Yeah, you can see it's old, so everything needs an update every now and then.
Yes, okay, I'm going to show you. So Daniel works in this office?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Roughly,
Okay,
yeah.
so there, if you ever drive by Townsville, you can just point out, that's Daniel's office. And I work
By
here?
the ish.
No, yeah, here-ish,
It's close.
in the communications office. So I am actually leading, managing our communications office. So I talk to people who are interested in coming, work through visa situations, and maintaining like our website and just different things like that. If anyone's inquiring, we are the main people who will contact them. And I also work with Vet in Schools students. So what that is we have high school students who come in weekly and do a course with us. So I am leading our Certificate 3 in Business course. So I have the pleasure of working with 5 students there and just taking them through this course, and they get real-life experience working in a business. And we also have students coming for hospitality, radio and media, and construction. Yes, so it's very cool to see what we are doing throughout the high schools and how our organization can, be used to train others.
Yep.
I think that was it.
Yeah, that's it.
Next one.
So that's what's happening in Townsville, and there's lots of things in the making. We also have a satellite campus, called a satellite campus, in Port Moresby, which is this right here. We call it the Jetty. It's in Port Moresby. Yeah, we call it the Jetty because you can't quite see it, but there's a land bridge, it's saying? A jetty that shoots out from the place.
Surrounded by ocean over here.
Currently, right now, there was a discipleship school and a medical-based school that started in March.
Mm-hmm.
Currently running, mostly from Papua New Guineans attending the school. This was all developed by Papua New Guineans. It has a housing facility inside there, a large kitchen, classrooms, assembly area, all developed and maintained by Papua New Guineans, for Papua New Guineans in there. Just another good initiative. This one was, a long time in the making, and it's finally coming to fruition now. It's happening, which is exciting. See the YWAM logo on buildings there. And there's of course more plans for this yet to build more classrooms, medical centre as such, and just to become a good launching platform for volunteers internationally or even Townsville in the future to go up, serve, come back.
Yeah, so that's a very broad overview of a lot of the different things that we've been involved with. And just seeing God, like His favor over YWAM Medical Ships has been incredible. He just continues to surprise us and give us more opportunities to reach out to the community or to grow. And we're continuing to grow. We have, we're building new apartment units on our campus, because even the ones that we built last year are already being filled. And so it's just really awesome to see what God is doing through us and through this organization. We're going to show you...
We're doing pretty good on time, so we can show you a video,
Yeah.
which is a broad overview of the history of YWAM Townsville, which started 28 years ago, I believe.
Yes, this video was
Now?
created for the 26-year anniversary that they had, so it's kind of like, a recap. So you don't have to listen to our voices for, a few minutes. We'll
So
give you
you'll-
a video to watch.
You'll hear from the people that pioneered the YWAM base and all the things that happened and all the stages of the ministry that they've gone through and where they're at now.
Yeah, so we might just sit over here and
We
we'll
just
let
have
you
to see.
play the video.
For the first number of years, we operated out of one house. When we moved from Brisbane and this handful of people and the teamwork that was involved to see it all grow was quite phenomenal, the personal sacrifice.
We didn't even know what would be in the fridge, sometimes week to week. That was just such a confronting environment.
So we moved to Townsville with a heart to reach isolated places. It was the core underlying passion that we had to see the gold within Australia dug out and shine. Little did we know that that would go so much broader and so much further to tiny little villages in the remotest parts of PNG. So from that little seed of a passion to overcome isolation, it really has grown to far more than we could ever have hoped or dreamed or imagined.
12 years ago we decided that our son should have an involvement with a group that was dealing with youth from a much wider social perspective than what he was getting from school. And we found out that Youth with a Mission had a Friday night youth program. And so we enrolled our son Adam. Over the next 6 months we got to know Robin and Ken, and really were blown away by where their hearts were placed in trying to help Townsville and help the youth of Townsville and the youth of North Queensland. And I knew nothing about YWAM and was really surprised how few people in the business community did.
And he talked to me about a dream of a ship, coming to Townsville and then going to Papua New Guinea. I thought, gee, that's an excellent dream. About a year later, we were welcoming the YWAM Pacific Link into the city.
I thought it was inspirational for our staff and our dentists to be able to join me in our vision and YWAM in delivering wonderful health outcomes to those very nearby in medical, dental, optical areas, just to really make a difference.
At that time, the government had decided to vacate a historic building for the city of Townsville. So the council bought the building on the off chance that we might get a tenant. And I actually offered it to YWAM. I said, why don't you go have a look and tell me what you think? They went away and said no, and then they thought about it and came back and said yes.
And I remember when we first walked around these premises where everyone is today, we thought that it would take us 5 or 10 years before we'd be able to use any real portion of it. And here we are now, having filled this.
The people of Townsville now join with YWAM in the pride of having our ship based here at our port, and this has been seen as one of the most innovative projects in Townsville.
Every community needs great education, needs great culture and arts. It needs to have a giving heart and a giving hand to be able to say that we are the home of an organisation that can go out as it does and achieves what it does for our neighbours and our surrounding communities. Adds another dimension to our community that we can all be proud of.
The work that YWAM's doing here in this city in North Queensland, the work and the giving is making a difference to this city, to the young people, the community, the very fabric that puts this city together.
$22 million a year in services on a peppercorn charity is just amazing. Every time I think that they've achieved the most amazing heights and overcome the most amazing hurdles, Ken will roll another plan out on his desk and say, Peter, I was thinking, hilarious, watching how some amazing people can achieve things where physical parameters would say those things would be impossible.
Here we are in this beautiful facility in town, and we do have a ship. But I am not satisfied from where we are in one sense. because I continually get reminded of the opportunity and needs that are very real. One of my great desires is actually, let's work with friends and see what we can do together.
Yes, God is good.
Yes.
So that's just a brief overview of what YWAM Townsville has been involved in. You saw Ken and Robin Mulligan there, which are good friends of ours. And yeah, there's a lot of people that have been there for extended amounts of time as well. 20 plus years of service in YWAM Townsville. Very encouraging to see, and yeah, I feel very privileged to work there and partner in God with what they're doing up there. And now, transition into the next project. So yeah, previously I've been involved with the maintenance and developing the property and premises, but now we are both being involved in what we call the Discipleship Training School, DTS for short. And we'll just explain a little bit about that soon, but we do have a pretty fresh advertising campaign video that we will show you now.
So that was our little ad. We've put it on different social media sites and things to raise awareness of the discipleship training school that we are running. So basically what this means, it is a 6-month course through YWAM. So YWAM International runs discipleship training schools, and in Townsville, we will be starting one in July of this year. So Daniel and I will be leading that, facilitating our guest speakers, bringing students in, communicating to them how to come, when to come, what to bring, all of that good stuff, and what it means. What is a DTS?
Yeah,
Daniel?
DTS stands for, as I said before, Discipleship Training School. It's actually the core course that every full-time volunteer internationally through YWAM must do before they become full-time volunteer. Lasts roughly 6 months, and it's split into 2 halves. The DTS is aimed at very much developing the individual. So it's very much spending time with God, and processing through life, and also just cultivating a life of service and partnership with God.
Yeah, so up here we have the first part of a DTS is our lecture phase. So what this means, every week we have different topics. So whether it's recognizing God's voice, nature and character of God, identity, relationships, missions, evangelism, lordship, how to study and communicate God's word. So those are just a few examples of the weekly topics that we have. And so it's really focused on developing people's faith, developing their relationship with God, showing them how to find the truths by reading the Bible, not just trusting what your parents say or, just going along with the flow, but really questioning and knowing how to speak with God and hear from him and get direction from him. And so, I love DTS because you see people come in from all ages, and usually they're wrestling with, a few specific things, and just to be able to walk with them through it and show them how to find God's truth in it and how to find the life and freedom in a lot of different areas has been just an amazing opportunity. And so the fact that we get to lead one and to facilitate it is just, a real privilege and blessing, and we'd appreciate your prayers. So that's the first part of a DTS, is the lecture phase. And the second part, if we go to the next slide, is our outreach phase.
Yeah, so the outreach phase further again just solidifies a lifestyle of service and cultivating good culture and so forth. Because of international borders at the moment, the outreach phase will most likely be within Australia. There's currently a DTS running that started in January they're staying within North Queensland and possibly Melbourne later in a few weeks. So us specifically, we'll probably stick around, Queensland and Northern Territory, which was quite common for YWAM Townsville before the ship. Being involved with that, you saw in that video before lots of four-wheel drives and a big bus going all over the place. That's how they started, and they've really got a heart to get back into that. And that's where we come in.
Yes.
We'll be involved with that. So outreach phase can look very different depending on school. But we will try and aim at serving communities and just finding friendly places to keep going back into, keep investing into, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so through outreach, we work through churches. We may do some school seminars in the communities that we go into, just doing community projects if there's a lawn that needs to be mowed, or the church knows of some people who need some support in different areas. Like we pretty much go in and just door knock until we find things to do and people to connect with, and even if it's just sitting on someone's couch for an hour and just hearing their story, we love people, and that's a huge part of the DTS, is to show people what evangelism looks like just in every day. So they come for this training and expect to, like when I came, I was like, all right, I'm going to be trained in missions, and I'm going to be able to do missions in the future sometime. And when I came on my DTS, God really confronted me, and he was like, no. Like, it starts now. Like, missions starts today, and it starts in every single day. And I was like, but I'm not in Papua New Guinea, and I'm not doing this or this. And he's like, no, it's every day. Talk to the person sitting next to you. Go to the store. Like, find someone to just say hi to and to love on in whatever capacity you can. And so I love that about outreach, is it just gives such a clear picture of how God loves every single day and how we're just meant to do that. And it doesn't have to be like this high pressure, go evangelize. It's just what's on your heart to love people. So I've got a real heart for DTS. I love it. If anyone's interested, come up to Townsville. The weather's cooling off. It's not as humid, we promise. It's going to be great, all right? Yes.
So the next slide has that's the flyer we've got, which is just out there on a table. You can pick one up. Please take one. It has a lot more details on what the school is about, what the aims are. It's got dates on there. And ways you can find out more from there.
Yeah, so this is going to be our focus for the next 7 to 8 months as we're planning it, and then have students come and are actually doing the school, and then finishing it off and rounding off all the edges. But yes, we have, if you go to the next slide, we've got different prayer requests that we would love your support in. Thank you so much for the support that you have, adopted us into. We're just so thankful that you guys want to hear about what we're doing and what's on our heart, and we'll definitely keep you updated if you would like. We'll keep the church updated as a whole, but if you'd like to keep in touch with us, we've got little cards out in the lobby that you can, find our contact details, and we'd love to keep you even more updated with prayer requests and everything. Yes, I think that is about it.
About it.
Yeah. Any questions?
There might be. Maybe later.
Thank you guys so much. Yes.
Well, before we do finish, I want to pray for you. There are a couple of flyers out in the foyer, so if you'd like to get a little bit more information, there is this one with some general information about the DTS, and this one has a little bit more contact details specifically for these guys. As a church, we do what's called Faith Promise, and Faith Promise is a part of our missions giving, and our missions committee is going to be relaunching our Faith Promise very, very soon with a lot more information. And Daniel and Zandreya are our newest addition to our Faith Promise, and we want to be able to support them in mission through the financial generosity of our church. But even today, if you would like to make a financial contribution today, you can certainly do that. You can do that directly to them, I'm sure, or you can come and pass on a gift to myself.
over the next couple of weeks, if you wanted to even just at this stage get an envelope and just simply write YWAM on it, right? YWAM, YWAM on it, and Robin will make sure that that is specifically forwarded to support these guys. So they're volunteers, 100% volunteers, relying on the generosity of family and friends and churches who can support that. So if you really caught something today, you'd like to do that, but then in the next few weeks we'll be relaunching officially our Faith Promise, which will be including these guys on that as well. So any questions, come and grab them after the service, come and grab hold of me if you've got further questions about ways to financially support, but let's pray together. Lord Jesus, thank you so much that we've been greatly blessed today to hear about your mission, your gospel, your ways being spread through Australia, through Papua New Guinea, and indeed right around the world. And we thank you for the part that Daniel and Zandreya are playing in all of that, particularly now as they get ready to step out in faith to embrace this new call to head up the next DTS. Lord, bless them so much. Bless them with everything they need to